damage pattern looks like, or basically where someone of Mr. O'Keefe's height arm would contact the rear taillight.
And also the family of the perpetrator. Going forward, we Mogans are choosing to put our energy and focus into honoring Maddie's too short life.
Like, you can't remember my name. I don't remember.
What is no big deal to us is a big deal to these litigants, right?
Hello everyone, welcome back to Source and Order. I go by the name of Heinz, your friendly neighborhood ketchup man, and welcome back to Ketchup Court. Listen, we have a lot to talk about this week, like a lot of drama I didn't expect for some of our cases, and I am also going to be bringing forth a new case to do a weekly recap on. But for those that don't know what Source and Order is about, we gather here to discuss legal cases and get our opinions flowing to really refine our taste in the law. And pretty much it's just a place where we can kind of just meet together, go through what has been happening within the week, if anything happens within the week, or watch trials or do deep dives into certain cases that has been a bit that I have not covered. So that's basically what the show is about for those that don't know. But anyway, for today's show, we are going to be discussing the Donna Adelson Donna Adelson sentencing statements that has been happening, because we have been covering this trial day by day when it was going on, and I didn't know much about this trial when I went into it, and I was pretty much shocked by how much evidence was coming out. I did not know about it, Charlie. I know that there was other arrest because I read about the case way before Charlie Adelson's trial, but I didn't watch his trial. And so even when I was getting acquainted with the case, there was a lot of people in the chat that were saying, no, Donna is not guilty because all of her acts were before the crime had taken place, so therefore she's not guilty. Well, you guys are not, you guys that were saying that, you guys are not alone, because she was saying essentially the same thing in the courtroom, and most other people that were giving their impact statements, they were basically saying the same thing. But I'm not doing it any justice in the way that I'm introducing it, because it was a lot, and I mean a lot wilder than that. So we are going to get into that on the show today, and I'm going to begin my coverage of what I believe was a really interesting trial that I came across. It happened earlier this year in January. I came across it around January, February time when I was in recovery. I unfortunately suffered a psychotic episode that I needed treatment for. So I was in recovery at the time, and I came across this case, and it got a lot of people started talking about it around near the end of the case. I wish I followed it at the time, at the very least. So this is going to be kind of a journey with us, because I'm gonna just try my best to see what the prosecution are building, because this was a 37-day trial that there is a lot of evidence that the prosecution presented. In fact, the opening statements, I think it took 2 days. The prosecution ran their opening statements on day 2. So there is a lot of twists and turns that are going to come with this case, and I'm going to be going through what has been brought out on week 1, which would be days 1 to 4 so far. So we are going to be discussing while talking about this this trial today. And finally, we are going over to the UK for the only trial that has pretty much caught my eye, and this is the Madeleine McCann trial. For those that don't know about the Madeleine McCann Stalker trial, it is about a two defendants in this particular case, Karen Sprague, who is the co-conspirator or the co-defendant in this case, who was helping the stalker, Julian Wandelt, who claims to be the missing daughter of both Kate and Jerry McCann. The backstory to those two is a massive story here, but I appreciate that people on the other side may not know. But long story short, both parents lost their well, not lost. Let me rephrase. Their daughter went missing while they were their daughter Madeleine McCann went missing while they were on holiday in Portugal, staying at a hotel called Praia de Luz, and ever since they have been on a hunt trying to find her. Since they're still looking. They are still trying to find her at this point. So you can see how tragic this is for them, that someone turns up and says that they are Madeleine McCann. And we went through and all of this happened in 2024, around October 2023 to 2024, that all this happened. So they are on trial for stalking and harassing the McCanns, basically. And it's like we went through week 1 of the trial on the last episode. You can go catch that, which we gave a lot more background to the testimonies from the parents and also from the sisters that were contacted by Julia. So we're gonna continue on with week 2, and I believe the trial is coming to an end now. So without further, let's just get into it. Let's just get into it. I hope everyone is having a really, really good time. Let me know how you're feeling. Sorry, something in my throat. Let me know how you are feeling in the chat. It's good to see everyone here. It'll be good to interact with every single one of you. So like I said, this show is a place that we can hang out. Hopefully there'll be more of us. There'll be more people sharing their valuable opinions as the episodes progress. But hopefully you guys are having a good time out there. So let's just get into it, especially for the replay crew. Before I forget, replay crew, make sure that you like and let me know how you're feeling in the comment section as well. So I'm gonna go straight to Florida, Tallahassee, Liberty County, where the Donna Adelson trial was being held. So this was the sentencing, and I believe I forgot the name of this guy, but what's his name? Let me try and get him up. Dr. Grieber, I believe his name is, but he's a legal a lawyer, and he was giving his impact statement. I'm only gonna there were a lot of impact statements, but I'm not gonna go through all of them because they were all speaking in support of Donna, but there were some that were just out there for me that I was even thinking, how is this allowed? There were so I'm going to go through Dr. Grieber. I'm going to go through Harvey Adelson, who is Donna's husband's statements, and I'm going to go through Donna Adelson's statement herself, because and once we get there, you will see why I'm laughing, because there is a lot I have to say about this particular trial, but I just never expected to see what I saw. I believe it happened on Monday, and I was like, oh gosh, I can't wait to get into this. I was covering the Daisy Link trial. Otherwise, I would have just done an impromptu live to go live. So I was like, oh, you know what, just move this down to Source and Order and let's discuss, rather than do it on the debrief, which was but like I said, I was going through the Dazzling trial, so you can find the playlist for that in the description. But anyway, let's just go through Dr. Grieber's Donna Adelson Sentencing, because for those that don't know, I'm pretty sure you guys would know, but she has been sentenced to life in prison at this point, and I believe it's without parole. So she is not getting out. And I believe there was even a special instruction that was accepted by the judge to not allow her to share a room or be close in any way to Catherine McBanoa. And in my opinion, I think this is great for Catherine McBanoa. I'm pretty sure she wasn't really looking forward she wasn't really looking forward to be spending time or sharing the same cell or being in any way close proximity with Donna Adelson. So I'm pretty sure that's more of a good news for Catherine than it is for Donna Adelson. But yeah, so let's go into what Dr. Grieber had to say to try and persuade the court to give a lighter sentence to Donna Adelson.
Intent was to punish harsh.
So we are a lot into the testimony, so I'm not gonna give too much of a background, but basically the way he began is impact statement, which is to say that she's well respected and people know her and she's not bad or anything like that. But this next part is where it just got wild.
And it's come down to what did you intend to happen from this law? And that's my opinion, and they would use that information. So I'd like to talk a little bit about the intent of the judicial guidelines for sentencing. So
he's now going to talk about the intent. So he's given the background. He says that he does not agree with the verdict, he gave his opinion. Now he's going to this next. Let me just go on.
I think the life without parole is a very harsh sentence. And that was not the intent, was to punish domestic cases with that, but to hit drug dealers and organized crime and dangers to the public. But I think it's been switched over to be used in conspiracy theories against the average citizen, which is not the intent of the law, in my opinion. Second of all, I think that it's unfortunate that this case has gone into so many new victims. I mean, we've already...
It's only audio. Okay, maybe that's my end. Hold on 1 second. Oh, I just got it. Let me go. My bad. I appreciate it. My bad. Oh, damn. Off to a great start. Thank you, Random Girl, for that. Off to a great start so far.
Because they have a case, and it's come down to what did you intend to happen from this law? And that's my opinion, and they would use that information. So I'd like to talk a little bit about the intent of the judicial guidelines for sentencing. I think the life without parole is a very harsh sentence. And that was not the intent, was to punish domestic cases with that, but to hit drug dealers and organized crime and dangers to the public. But I think it's been switched over to be used in conspiracy theories against the average citizen, which is not the intent of the law, in my opinion.
Used in conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories. Interesting word. Let's continue.
Second of all, I think that it's unfortunate that this case has gone into so many new victims. I mean, we've already, you have 4 victims who have been found guilty of murder. 2 have committed the murder, maybe 1. The others are conspiracy theories. And I would believe that I would suggest to that needs to be reviewed by the legislature. That's my opinion. Now, in this case,
Dr. Grieber, before you continue, is this being offered as character? Because he is not an expert on the law.
It's character, Judge.
Very well. You may continue, Doctor.
Yes, that's my opinion from my background. It's not, I'm not giving a professional opinion. I'm giving my personal opinion from experience. What I'm asking the court today is that
How is it going to Donna's character? I don't see it, but okay.
to me, the court, the judicial system, the power of the judicial system is in the judge. And it is the judge who is the presenter of a safety net for the public to show some compassion when the cold written law with every box checked off shows no compassion. Where does the compassion come from? It should come from the judge, it should come from the jury. And I think that maybe that's something we have to consider. So at this point, what I'm saying is that I believe Donna Adelson is a 5-star mother, did everything she could do for her kids, for her family, for her community. She has no bad intentions. She's not a leader, she's a baby in her family. She's always been the follower. Yes, she makes noise and she complains, but that's not her behavior. This is not her profile. So I understand that nothing can be changed, but I want to put on record that I believe she is innocent of these 3 counts, and we believe her. With that, I would have to say, sometimes bad things happen to good people, and I think this is one of those cases, and it's unfortunate. For the families, I would ask, beg them, think about the 2 boys. Dad is not here, but a piece of him is here, and those 2 boys. And their future, they're both teenagers now, their future depends a lot on what's going on here, and how they're going to be perceived in the future, and how they will interpret the future based on this. So I think it's time for some compassion, some understanding, some forgiving. Perhaps it's time to take a step back and let everyone heal from this process. With that, I say to you, to Donna, Daniel and I love you, we support you and the family, and we hope for you the best. God bless you. And Your Honor, thank you for letting me speak.
Defense have an examination for the witness.
Okay, so that was his. Honestly, it's one of those. It's one of those statements that I like, because the judge hands down the sentencing. So if you are essentially going off the gate and saying that it's calling the case that he's overseeing a conspiracy theory that is heading into conspiracy theories, and also saying that the courts are not compassionate, I don't know how that helps to explain Donna's character or make her look any better. Like, his one was, in my opinion, the tamest one of all, because he was just being critical, and I don't understand how that's the case, because anyway, I wish I knew the implications of having someone that is a legal advocate coming in, well, someone that has a legal background coming in to say what he was saying. I wish I knew how that would actually impact, because end of the day, it's not like Donna is having a sentencing trial. At least that's not what I believe is happening here. Like, she's not on death row or anything like that. So the judge is only going to decide the time. You would think that you would do everything to be on the good side. I mean, it reminds me of the sentencing of Nicholas Casodius, because even though the mother of even though Nicholas's mother and father were like, we believe that you got it wrong, they never approached it like this. They just and I know it's a different jurisdiction, but I'm just casting my mind back to how that approach was different to this approach where both judges have the sentencing capabilities. Anyway, let me go on to Harvey Adelson, because this is where let's just go into it, because in my opinion this was wilder than what this will be up there. Let's watch.
Children and our marriage. This summer was our Donna Adelson's husband.
Lower your hand. You may speak.
Thank you, Judge.
I love him too. Love Judge Everett, random girl.
And respected officers of the court for allowing me to speak. I have been Donna Adelson's husband for over 50 years. My wife sacrificed everything so that she could pour her heart and soul into our children, our grandchildren, and our marriage. This summer was our 54th wedding anniversary, and I had to spend it without her, hand in mine. She has done nothing wrong, and yet is being punished for a crime that she did not commit. I thought we lived in a different kind of world, but I guess I was wrong. I have listened, watched, and sat in the courtroom for the entire trial, and I could not help but scream in my mind by the witnesses that were brought forward by the prosecution, who told outright lies. I didn't know that you could lie in a courtroom, but apparently you can. Danny's parents contend that they have never seen their grandchild. But for years they say they've never seen her. But Wendy has shared with me pictures and videos and letters from their visits.
Where's Wendy in all of this?
They have suffered immensely.
Wait, where is actually Wendy? Anyway.
The loss of their son. But they also contend to tell lies to the court about our grandchildren. Donna has always been a loving and caring wife and is innocent of the charges.
You gotta understand, they're calling Rob Adelson a liar as well. That he came into court and lied to put his mother into prison. And we don't know why. He hasn't said why. He hasn't. This man did not go on the stand, at least in the defense, in Donna's defense, to at least say XYZ. But he has a lot to say in this regard. Okay, let's just continue.
A biased judge.
A biased judge.
And jury were influenced by years of one-sided news pieces and social media.
Dr. Ms. Fulford, this has nothing to do with the character of the defendant or relates to sentencing.
May I just 1 moment, please?
Go ahead.
Of course it has nothing to do with the character. I mean, like, Jesus Christ, what has a biased judge and what has that criticism got to do with Donna being an upstanding citizen and reasons why the judge should be considering giving her a lighter sentence? That does not make any sense to me, but let's continue on. I believe he's gonna,
I did not.
Okay. So, given a new, I don't know. This part was funny. They have all that time to go through all this. Let's just see what happens after that. Will he change? Will he change? Will he say, you know what? I was wrong. Rush of emotions. Judge, forgive me. Let me speak about how great Donna is. Is that what we're going to hear? Let's find out.
All right, thank you for letting me continue. Donna did not participate in the heinous acts that she was convicted of doing.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
You are sending an innocent woman to prison. You have taken my wife, and you have taken my life as well.
Well, I guess all she said to him was, just change your tone a little bit, I guess, because I can tell his vocal levels are not as high as they were before.
And for what? This is not justice. It is vengeance, and it is wrong.
You have an examination for Dr. Adelson.
No, Your Honor. No, Judge.
That was it. That was it. Now let's go on to the woman of the hour. Oh gosh, I have a lot to say about this one. But before I do even go on to Donna Adelson, and I know I said earlier in regards to Harvey taking the stand. I know I said that earlier, and in my opinion, if he's, especially with how he was talking, because I believe his friends, the friends that testified, one of them, I think Chagrin came in and gave his impact statement, and I think a lot more of their friends were writing forward to the judge. A lot nicer than what we are seeing here, but I'm wondering why Harvey would not testify on her behalf, especially considering the fact that he would know, listen, no, that didn't happen. But maybe there's a strategic reason why the defense would not put him up there, because he might blow up the case for them. Who knows? But for him to say all that he did, especially in regards to Rob Adelson, and you guys know how much I actually thought that witness coming on to testify against Donna, and I immediately was thinking, like, the defense did not even have a rebuttal ready. So I already knew that there's a fractured relationship going here, and if this guy was out for revenge or anything like that, knowing that this family is potentially dangerous, I don't think he'll be doing it. But he knows. He just knows. That's the point I'm trying to make. I don't think he hates the family. I think he just I think that there is friction somewhere. I'm not saying that he's not out for revenge, or sorry, that is what I'm saying. I am saying he's not out for revenge, but I really believe his heart is compelled to give the testimony that he did. Not out of I need to get them back, but more of this is the right thing to do. So the way that the father is reacting is just, I don't know. That's just not, doesn't sit right with me. I agree with you, Brooklyn. Harvey, no, he's not. Brooklyn says Harold and Kumar, the two teenagers sitting in the courtroom crashed the party. Harold and Kumar. I wish I got the reference, because the only thing there is two people I'm thinking of, and that is Harvey and the other doctor. That, unless you're referencing those two, you might have to make this specific for me to understand. Yeah, let's go into Donna Adelson now.
Okay. Is this loud enough, Judge?
I can hear you.
Thank you for letting me speak. My son-in-law, Dan Markel, was a fine and decent man. He was well educated and passionate about his career. He was a good son-in-law, but more importantly, he was a caring and loving father. On July 18th, 2014, his car was followed, leaving his home. It should have been just like any other day, an ordinary day in the life of Ben and Lincoln's father, but it wasn't. He didn't know when he left his boys off at daycare that would be the last time he would see them, and the last time they would see him. He didn't know when he went to the gym afterwards that would be the last time he would exercise. And he didn't know when he drove home that his life would end within minutes. Danny wasn't just being followed, he was being hunted. He was brutally murdered in broad daylight, sitting in his car, in his garage, by vicious killers. I cannot imagine the terror he felt when he saw a gun pointed at him through the window of his car. I cannot conceive of his heroic efforts to stay alive during the hours after the attack. Danny died in the early morning hours of July 19th. His death is a loss to his children, his parents, his sister, all of us in his family, his friends, his colleagues in the legal community, and to his students at FSU Law School. Danny's boys each have a photo of themselves with their Abba, their dad, beside their beds. They grew up kissing the framed photo and saying, "Good night, Abba, I love you." The pictures and memories are all they have because cruel, cold-hearted people took him from all of us who loved him. My heart was broken when Danny died. My grandsons were going to grow up without the father who loved them. I wondered, how could we help these boys through this trauma? It was then that my husband and I knew that the best way to honor Danny's memory would be to share with these children an abundance of love, the love that Danny would have given them if he were alive. It is interesting how the state can't make up its mind about who is what they call the, quote, mastermind behind this murder. In both of Catherine Magbano's trials, the state claimed she was the mastermind behind Danny's murder. In my son Charlie Adelson's trial, they claimed he was the mastermind. And now in my trial, they claimed that I, this grandma, was the mastermind behind the murder.
She just couldn't help herself. She was almost there. She started off well. She actually started off well. I was like, wow, okay. Okay, this is compassionate. She feels for the victim. Then the grandma line drops. The prosecution now suspects that the grandma is the one that's behind this. Let's continue listening to it.
I had no idea that other people planned to cut Danny's life short. And the people who did this are exactly where they deserve to be.
I had no idea that the people that did this. What TV repair costs $5,000? Anyone, please let me know in the chat. What TV repair costs $5,000? Would a normal grandma pay $5,000 for a TV repair? Please let me know that in the chat. Would a normal grandma be speaking to a member of the Latin Kings? Underground Latin Kings? Would a normal grandma be expecting phone calls to go through their agency from... Never mind, let's continue.
But I had no knowledge that this horrible, evil act was going to take place. If I had become aware of this plan before Danny was murdered, I would have stopped it. With not one iota of actual evidence, the state convinced a Tallahassee jury that I solicited and conspired with other people to have Danny killed.
You did.
Where is the evidence prior to the murder? The evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that the state needed to prove their case. Where is the evidence before July 18th, 2014 at 10:50 in the morning?
Before you continue, Mrs. Adelson, as it relates to this statement, is the defense trying to re-argue the trial?
No, Judge, just giving Mrs. Adelson an opportunity to be heard.
Very well.
Mrs. Adelson, you certainly can continue. However, the court can take into consideration the utter lack of remorse that you are displaying.
Absolutely.
Please proceed if you desire to do so.
But she says, where is the evidence before the killing? Where is the evidence? Didn't you guys, all of you guys, get together on the 6th of June? I mean, did we all just make that up? Like, didn't you guys, on the 6th of June, after the first killing? Were you guys, when that fell through? That just didn't happen? Wasn't there emails going through, discussions with Charlie, etc.? You know, especially for Halloween around that time. She asked for evidence.
Where is the evidence before July 18th, 2014 at 10:50 a.m. that revealed that I had any involvement in this vile and horrific act? Where is the solicitation and conspiracy evidence? The state needed to show that there was evidence before the murder to convict me. The state couldn't show that because there wasn't any evidence. They were trying an innocent person. It makes you wonder if the jurors were sleeping when the state had Sergeant Corbett on the stand for hours. Their own star witness testified that my phone was never, I repeat, never at my son's house on the night of the murder. The state's theory that my husband and I dropped off money to my son was blown out of the water by the...
Your phone was never on at your son's house. Why? You messaged your son literally at 8:32 or something like that, around that time, 8:58 or something like that, outside your house. What do you mean? Like, you signed the checks. That's solicitation. Occam's razor would suggest, okay, you definitely know what's going on with Charlie. You had the call. Wendy, that's the one. They sound the same. Y and Y. Anyway, moving on. Wendy was on the phone to US 712, and the minute you got off the phone, you called Charlie, and then goes to meet him. Like, come on, like.
Their own witness. And yet, the state continued to push that story, that lie of the so-called money drop to the jury through the remainder of the trial. And the jury bought into it, hook, line, and sinker. Reasonable doubt. Many months ago, my attorneys filed a motion for a change of venue. An expert witness testified that Tallahassee had been barraged with over 9 years of negative social media, printed news, television news, and podcast publicity about my family. He explained to the court, both with evidence and demonstratives, that for me to receive a fair trial, it needed to be held in any of the researched and designated areas in the state of Florida other than Tallahassee. All I wanted was a level playing field, but the court wanted the trial here in the hotbed of Tallahassee. I sat through 3 days of jury selection. 180 potential jurors were asked if they had developed an opinion in my case.
Why do I get the feeling that she has been watching Surviving the Survivor podcast, who has been covering this case extensively? I just get the feeling that she's been watching that and a lot of other true crime shows. If the reference is too on the nose for this one.
Those that answered yes also added, I believe she is guilty. Not one person, not one, said, I think she may be innocent. That should have been a clue to the court to grant our motion for a change of venue, but the court denied the motion. One of my jurors admitted during jury selection that she had background information concerning what one of the state's witnesses would be testifying about. Why was she allowed to be on my jury?
What moment?
Another juror.
Mrs. Fulford,
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Mr. Zellman, again, this has nothing to do with elocution of any sort. This is a raising of grievances, which are properly given to the appellate court. What does any of this have to do with sentencing?
Could I have just one moment, please?
Okay. Let me move this forward a little bit. But I never.
Or step out.
This is this is why.
He's a scholar.
Okay, so let me just move on here. Okay.
What happened to Danny is unforgivable. But I am an innocent woman convicted of this terrible crime without evidence. Danny was a brilliant legal scholar. He would have been appalled at the total lack of justice that went on during my trial. He would have been embarrassed to have his name associated with any of it.
Oh my God.
There are two crimes here. The first was Danny being viciously...
Oh my God. Talk about shitting on someone's grave. Talk about taking a big fat dump on someone's grave. What do you mean Danny would have been appalled at how your case was handled? That's insane. Like that's a lack of respect I don't even think I can even reach. Like that's whoa. Like I normally try to like, you know, not insert my opinion too much based on subjective feelings, you know. I try to keep objectively, but that's really a low blow, especially like what like what
murdered.
And you don't you don't actually feel remorse about this.
The second one is taking my life, the life of an innocent woman. Convicting me should not be retribution for Danny's death. That is not justice for Dan. I've always respected the law. I've never gotten a parking ticket, but I'm going to prison for a murder I did not commit.
You never got a parking ticket, but let's be quite clear. You did get a TV repair that cost $5,000, right? Let's just be clear on that. That's what you did. You never got a parking ticket, but you did get a TV repair that cost $5,000.
I do intend to file an appeal so that hopefully I have the opportunity to be given a fair trial outside of Tallahassee. 11 years ago, Danny was murdered and taken from all of us who loved him. For the past 9.5 years, the state has broadcast to the world, including Danny's parents and sister, that I hired hitmen to kill him. Never in a million years would I have wanted Danny to be harmed or killed, nor could I ever do something that would leave these two small boys to grow up without him. I love these boys more than life itself. This is a lifetime of loss for these children. They didn't deserve this. His family didn't deserve this. Danny didn't deserve this. And so, as I appear before you today, Your Honor, I promise you with my whole heart, I swear to you on my life, I was not involved in any way with Danny's murder. I was not.
The most interesting part about all of that is let's just cut to the chase. How can you say that you love these boys with all your heart and then you just don't let them see the same family that you're saying that their own son would feel like this is not justice? You're saying that, but simultaneously your actions in the past, in all of this case, really, with all that's come out of this case, with all that's come out from the parents' victim, from Dan Markel's parents' victim impact statements, she hasn't let them visit the children. So what is this? What is all of this about? To me, this is not sympathy. This is not even someone that wants to be heard. This is not. I don't see it as someone that actually wants to be heard or someone that please listen to my opinion or anything like that. This is a narcissistic injury, in the sense that she is just shouting, and whoever is going to get caught up in the web gets caught up in the web. She doesn't care who it is. She just shouts out there so that anyone that could be manipulated within it are caught up within it. And it's just what I think, because I just find it extremely interesting that you would mention Dan Markel, what he would want, yet you don't have any relationship with this guy. Let's just get it clear. The relationship is always between Wendy and Donna. Wendy and Dan. Yeah, we never heard anything about Dan and Donna actually being close friends. In fact, we heard the opposite. Like, he was trying to limit her involvement in their house. So maybe they had a friendship, but surely you must have the self-awareness to at least understand that at some point that relationship has soured. So how can you then think it's a good idea to use his memory to say he would think that this is not right? He would think that this is not justice. I have no... why would she wanted to fly to a non-destination country? Oh gosh, well, yeah. Why would you? This is the actions of an innocent grandmother. But to be quite fair, I will say I do believe that. And this is me going by a lawyer. Maybe it's true that they were always going to bring her back. Maybe it's true. Brooklyn says. You can call me Hines, Brooklyn. You can call me Hines, but Ketchup Court is fine. But Casey is fine also, but you can definitely call me Hines. I don't mind. Brooklyn says, I watch your daily coverage. Thanks. When is she giving birth? I actually don't know. The pregnancy story, I just never caught on. It was too sensationalized for me. I did find it strange. Don't get it twisted. I found it strange that someone could get pregnant in prison that is segregated, by gender. So I found that strange, but I just never bothered to look further into it outside of what happened so that I can let people know that she was actually pregnant in prison. But I truly don't know when the baby is due. I think, when did it happen? 2024? Was it around that time? October 2024, around that? If she's pregnant, she's probably due. Well, she wasn't showing when she was in trial, so probably 2 or 3 months pregnant or something like that. I have no idea. I can't tell you. I can't tell you, Brooklyn. But thank you for watching the coverage. I hope that it has helped you understand the case a bit more. Let me know what you think of it. So let me just go on to the Markel's statement, because they did release a statement in regards to they did receive a statement in regards to what they heard at the sentencing. Well, I believe so anyway. But it basically says, today, on what would have been Danny's 52nd birthday, we miss him as we have every moment of every day since his brutal murder. Our family's pain is everlasting, but so is our gratitude for those who have comforted, guided, and advocated for justice since. Time has changed us, and our concept of time has changed too. Over the past 10 years, our family has become familiar with the unpredictability of trial schedules, with many postponements and a global pandemic delaying justice from the many individuals responsible for our beloved Danny's murder. And I believe without the pandemic, I do believe that Charlie Adelson could have been convicted in 2020, and Donna Adelson could have been in trial by 2022. So it could have been in court by 2021, 2022. It could have been a lot quicker. I do believe that. Through this, we became and remain trusting in the judgment of prosecutors, law enforcement, and the court in the approach to seeking justice. We are pleased with the reasoning and clarity the court has demonstrated, including the most recent decision to safeguard the integrity of the subsequent trial. While the resulting delay may weigh in our hearts, it is far more important that the legal system works correctly and fairly. Hold on, did I get the right one? Hold on, let me go back a little bit. I'm not sure if I got the right one. I believe this is the right one. No, that's it. Yeah, I got the wrong one. That's from last year. My bad. My bad. That's the one. Okay. I didn't get the right one. Hold on. Okay, so this is the one. This is the right. Okay, so I believe it's from Court TV. It says Adelson. It says here. Danny's parent. Okay, let me find it. Okay, so this is the part here. Dan's parents, Ruth and Phil Markel, watched the sentencing remotely and said they listened in disbelief to the statements of from the Adelsons, calling Harvey's words deeply unfortunate. We will set the record straight, Ruth wrote in the statement. Our family was cut off from contact with the boys for 6 full years. Since then, our interactions have been limited and mainly through Wendy's supervised Zoom calls and short visits. Ruth noted that Wendy has refused to share their address, so mail or gifts for the children must be sent to her attorney's office. Donna spoke highly of her former son-in-law in her sentencing, describing him as a fine, decent man and caring, loving father. Ruth said Donna never mourned Dan's death and instead showed callous indifference to his murder. Donna's display of emotion before the court was not remorseful for Danny's death, but sorrow for the consequences she now faces for causing it, Ruth said. So that was what would be the statements that was written. So I do apologize for reading the wrong statement. That was a year ago when this trial was heading to court. So that was the wrong statement. I had opened up and I shared the wrong tab. Apologies for that. But yeah, anyway, going back to the chat, she made her true feelings about Dan known in her messages to Charlie and Wendy. Of course, Jibbers. I think Random Girl brought that up earlier. Jibbers. We saw the names that she was calling. So, I mean, I'm not going to try and speculate and say that she probably wasn't. I'm not going to try and speculate and say that she was calling him to all those things to his face or she wasn't lovey-dovey and there wasn't moments of happiness between them. I'm sure there might be, but let's just get it clear. Like, there's no need for you to put up an act. We did see your reaction to all of the stuff that was going through the divorce. We did also see your reaction to even the day that he was murdered. Why would you meet Charlie immediately after the call? That would never sit right with me. That's just too weird for me. Literally minutes. It didn't even last. Like, it was like, call me immediately. Sorry about that. She was like, call me immediately. 7:23, she was out of the house, all the way to Charlie's residence, outside your house around 8. Like, all of these things. Like, I mean, come on. Like, come on. The bump happened in 2016. First, day 4 trials, title 2 and 2 trials for Catherine. One ended up in a hung jury. I think Catherine was. I know that I forgot the other guy's name. I know that the one that shot him, the one that actually pulled the trigger, his trial concluded in 2022. Catherine McBanoa retrial, I believe it was a retrial, concluded in 2020. I don't want to get this wrong, but I do know that maybe I'm reading the appeal wrong, because her appeal was not successful, and I think it was around the time of 2023. So yeah, so I do think that that was the case. Wendy, in my opinion, they're not going to arrest. I don't think they are going to. I don't think they're going to arrest her. I'm calling it a hunch. If they do, I'll take it all back. I'm happy to be wrong about this one, but for some reason, it's taking too long. I mean, when I was looking back on the timeline, the Donna's arrest was really quick. After Charlie's conviction, it was really quick. So unless they're waiting for Wendy to try and leave the country, which I doubt she would do, this is a bit too long. That's just my thoughts, though. I already watched 5 defendants in this trial get convicted. It's my first. This is my first rodeo. So this is the first time I am watching all of this. But anyway, let's move on to the Monica Sementilli trial. And for those that don't know, so that's, like I said, that's the Adelson's chapter done. It's not over yet. If Wendy definitely gets arrested and there's a trial there, or who else is there, or Harvey, maybe Harvey is next. I don't know. Whatever happens with this particular case, I will continue to cover it. Like, I am planning to do a weekly stream of the Charlie Adelson trial after I am done with Monica Sementilli. I also plan to do a weekly stream of Melody Faris trial. Those 3 trials are in my, can I call it docket? But yeah, they are in my plans to come here on Source and Order and go weekly. So yeah, so I don't think there's any big notable trials coming up in the UK anytime soon. So I will have a lot more time to get through these trials a lot quicker, and give them a lot more depth and attention. But anyway, like I said, Donna can, like I said, all of that is for show. It was for show. Donna Adelson, definitely. I did not expect any of that. I just want to make it. I did not expect any of that, because it just exemplifies everything that the prosecution were saying all through their case, that all of them were essentially that she was just the controlling type, etc. And like I said earlier, this is just someone with a narcissistic injury that just didn't get her way and thought she would get off because of reasons, and it just didn't pan out. So what we saw in Adelson's sentencing is a product of this. Anyway, yes, Monica Sementilli, yes, she was found guilty. Yes, for those that don't know, she was found guilty. And like I said earlier, this is a trial I wanted to cover from the very, very beginning. It happened in January, February, around that time. She was in a relationship. The prosecution were basically alleging that she was cheating on Fabio Sementilli with, I believe, I don't want to get his name wrong. Is it Robert Baker or something like that? But she was basically cheating on Fabio Sementilli with a man named Baker, and this trial is long. It was very long. The opening statements took 2 days, as I said earlier. There is a lot, and I like deep diving. I like the kind of sleuthing that comes with these long trials. Like, that's why that's what I loved about Depp v. Heard, because there was so much evidence being presented, and I was like, okay, I need time to dissect all of this and put together a cohesive story and a cohesive timeline to all of this. So I'm looking forward to the Monica Sementilli trial. I'm covering it because at the very least I can create a timeline to go through at least each week what's actually happening. What I have done all through this is note the times and dates, because I feel like with the prosecution making such a big deal about these times and dates through their witnesses, I feel like it's going to become very important later on. So week 1 was very, I wouldn't say short, but it was very important to establish at least the background of what is happening. So they started off with the LAFD, the fire department, the LAFD that went in to investigate the scene. It was a bloody scene that he testified to. I believe it was a fellow that goes by the name of Daryl Yoshihashi, but he went in to investigate the scene. Then Detective Ryan Verna was the second witness, and his testimony was short because he was recalled later on. I believe he came back on the end of day 3, and he testified onto day 4, which is what we're covering, just day 2 to day 4. So we are going to spend a lot of the time watching his testimony because that is where a lot of the meat is. If I could say that, he really kind of gives us an overview. And yes, I am following the Courtney Clenny case. Okay, so this is what's gonna happen. I am following the Courtney Clenny case. In fact, I did a video before my whole psychosis, when I had to temporarily stop YouTube for a while. I did a whole video going into the background and the evidence presented. This was back in 2023 or early 24, I believe. I am due to do an update video, so that is coming out in November, early November. I'm gonna do, I think, a series of 3 or 5 videos of what has been happening with the hearing and who the key players are and what to expect, because the trial now has been delayed. So as long as the trial goes ahead, I'm definitely covering it daily like I always do, and I'll be making my recaps so I will definitely be following the Courtney Clenny case. But yes, so Monica Sementilli, he's a celebrity hairdresser, and she was having an affair with this guy called, I don't know his first name, but definitely his name is Baker, and he has, I'm gonna say allegedly because I can't remember the exact charges that he had, but apparently he has a sexual offender's history, maybe for a rape or something kind of crime. He's a bit of a bad boy, and his Porsche, based on the evidence presented on the first 3 days, his Porsche was found at the scene, and they caught him driving the Porsche away and putting it I'm putting it near the river, I believe it was, but that was what came out. I believe it was in I believe it was in Detective Ryan Verna's testimony. I believe it was his testimony, but when Ryan Verna went on the first time, he only gave testimony about, there wasn't much to it to establish. It was really short and sweet. The main part that stuck out of his testimony was him saying that there was a secrecy between the police department and Monica Sementilli, because they had an active investigation going on, and she was considered as a potential suspect. And on cross-examination, he was asked whether Miss Sementilli and Mr. Baker, whether they were actually suspects, and he said that he never informed. They asked him if he informed Monica that they were potential suspects, and he said that he never informed her that she was a suspect, nor did he inform Baker that he was a suspect. All these things, and that is going to become very important later on because of the calls that he had with Monica. That is really what I believe has turned this case on its head, because after those calls, Monica's movements are very, very interesting, and I think it's worth noting. So and I think it's worth watching. We are gonna go and watch it in a bit. I just want to go through these few witnesses, and guys, if anything, please note down these times, because I have, and I really, when I show the timeline in the timeline form like I usually do, I I want to have that same. I want you guys to have that same cathartic release. So, so note down these times because I believe on the 23rd, Heather Stagel. Not Heather Stagel. That's the lawyer for the prosecution, but Officer Robeledo. I believe I say his name. He was the first. He was. I wouldn't say the first one to respond, but he was at the scene at 5:45 p.m. Very important to note that time because on that same day, Delia was going inside the house. So Delia Rivera Pacheco is the housekeeper of the Sementillis. Now, she did give very important evidence, but she can't speak Spanish. Sorry. She can't speak English, but she can't speak English. So she needed an interpreter. I'm not going to go through all of her because all that was coming out was just the time she would go in and out of the house and what her role was. There was not really anything pertinent that I could say really stood out. But she did say that she did testify that she only cleaned the Sementilli's house. And she's been doing that for 2.5 years, and she also testified that on Mondays around 8 a.m. That she would clean on Mondays at around 8 a.m. and she had a key with her, so she was entrusted with the security of the house. But on the 23rd of January, Monica had let her in, so she never had a key on the 23rd of January. All of this happened in 2017. So I'm guessing COVID may have delayed this case to how long it is now. I don't know what went on in pre-trial to have a case go as far back as 2017 be adjudicated in 2025. I don't know why that's the case. I hope that's not what's going to happen with Courtney Clenny. But it is very important that Monday, because on the 30th of January 2017, Monday is actually the 23rd. So she would work around the house on Mondays at around 8 a.m. and she had the key to let herself in. But on this particular day, Monica let herself in. That might become important later on. I thought I note that because maybe there's a way. Maybe the key that she had was an electronic key. I have no idea. She testified also that she didn't see Fabio, but she had heard that he was preparing coffee, and she saw Jessica Sementilli and Monica Sementilli. So Jessica was at the house, Monica was at the house. Cross-examination, Leonard Devine, I believe that's Monica's lawyer, alongside Blair Burke, who, for those that may have followed the Depp v. Heard case, Blair Burke represented Depp in his divorce. So she is representing Monica Sementilli, and I thought that her opening statements when she gave it was pretty good. It was pretty good. But she testified, but on the cross-examination, she testified that she knew Monica did not have a job at the time, but did not know whether Jessica was in school or not. Sometimes she was at the house when she worked, and sometimes she wouldn't be. She says that she knows that Bella was in school, so she has a reasonable idea of their movements. And it's really important to have this part down, in my opinion, because with Monica not having a job, that is going to become important later on for the evidence that's going to come out from Ryan Verna's investigation. Then we heard from Corey Hawke, and she said, and she's a LAPD criminalist. She had collected 43 items of evidence in total and says that the red stains appear to be blood stains, and biological material. So all of this are going to be analyzed and tested, and she is not the one that processed all of this. Somebody else did that. So we are going to expect evidence to come out from that one. And then this is the part that I wanted to get to. It was when Ryan Verna returned back onto the stand, and he gave testimony in regards to the house and how someone could gain access to the house. And he also gave testimony into Fabio Sementilli's injuries, and he said that he noticed that he had multiple and he said that he noticed that he had multiple and he said that he noticed that that Fabio Sementilli had multiple injuries to his body, sharp force injuries. So this likely is, seems like a stabbing. But he's not the expert. I'm pretty sure that we are going to get an expert, and I'm pretty sure that we are going to get a medical examiner come in and testify. So anyway, let me speed this up because I feel like I'm I'm losing a lot of speed. So so that was the bulk. So his testimony says that Jessica had a red Mustang and Isabella had a small red Fiat. He also highlighted, I believe Monica Sementilli was driving a black truck, and she was kind of in, and she was kind of in that. That's very important because those cars are different from the cars that the killers were using. So that's why he was pointing them out. But I want to go to the part in which, let me just try and find it here. I believe it's, he's here. Okay. Okay, let's this is the part I want to get to because this is where he was testifying in regards to the injuries that he had, and he also testifies that during the interview that he was with Monica, that there was no questions, that he did not notice any tears on Monica during the interviews. He also testified to that she had not he also testified that Monica had mentioned Robert Baker and was of course playing racquetball with him, that Monica had met up with Robert at Target, and whether she had changed her answer about the surveillance systems or the life insurance policy. She said no. So the answers that he gave in regards to the life insurance policy, as well as the surveillance systems, which is the DVR system that was being used to surveil the house, she said no to this. Now, I don't know what they're building up to, but it seems like the answers that he's saying no, that she never changed our answers into that, we might get more of a reveal, because all of this seems to me that it's adding up to motive to why she would do this. So let's go on to the audios here.
He throws the kitchen, he shows the Porsche keys on the counter. Did he have two set?
I think upstairs, that's what is kitchen drawer.
Okay. And then where do the stairs go in the back? The wood stairs. Is there access to another gate or? The wash?
Yeah, behind there.
So if someone was walking in a wash, would they gain access to your property through the wash? With the kind of fence? Is it a tall fence or?
I don't know.
By the way, this clip is from the trial channel. Like, love how she cut this up. But yeah, that's where I'm getting this from.
Do you know where the crime happened in
Every time something happens, everybody just and one time it happened towards the home breaking and all the news.
So you've been
He helps us in the neighborhood.
So you're the doctor?
Yeah.
And you're active in the crime watch?
I'm just,
Anything else?
a lot of strange people walking, but we were all good there because he's so really happy.
How many dollars?
200.
From your house? Okay. And I know there's cameras there. I want to call today. Who owns those cameras?
Association, and we should the first neighbors have the control of them.
Okay.
But he loves me, Hamilton, a lot. And everybody, everybody.
Yeah. Hamilton?
Hamilton.
You have my number? Yes.
How long has the Hacker House been there? Do you know how many people stay there? A few, but there are 50 people in the West.
15?
We had meetings with college and everything. Older people this month. But ever since we had been problems to get up to them.
Okay, so now we get the idea why the prosecution made it a massive deal to ask the question, was she crying real tears when you were having this interview? Because as you can hear, she sounds distraught. She sounds that she's broken up or cutting up. But so for him to just come out and say, no, she was not crying, he did not see tears on her or anything like that, that's really key. Now, they did go on to show the different surveillance times that everyone was coming in and out, but I'm not gonna show all of that. It'll be way too time consuming, but I have made a note of that. So Delia had left the house at 2:28 on the 23rd. So 2:28 p.m. Delia left the house. Approximately 5:30 or 5:25 around that time to 5:45 when the first officer arrived. I'm assuming is the first officer because that's the first person that was on, Officer Latibeaudiere. He arrived at 5:45. So I'm assuming around 5:25 to 5:45 was the time of death, roughly the time of death of Fabio Sementilli. So 2:28, Delia, the housekeeper that I mentioned earlier, I left the house. And then you had at 3:28, Monica also left to go to Target. So 3:28, she left to go Target. 3:47, Jessica's vehicle leaves the premises going to North Oakdale. So Jessica left the house at 3:47. Fabio Sementilli, well, I assume it's Fabio's vehicle because it was his vehicle. It was seen leaving the premises at 4:53 p.m. 4:54, a vehicle belonging to Isabella returns. So she's coming back from the school, returns to the house, and returns to the Sementilli residence. At 5:03, Monica returns home, and this was the pickup truck I was referring to earlier. And at 9:30 p.m., a Porsche, which was allegedly or assumed to belong to Robert Baker, was abandoned at an unknown location where you can see somebody getting out and walking out of the vehicle. So that is the key information that I noted down, and everything here. So there was something that came out in cross-examination that we are definitely going to, sorry, not cross-examination, on day 5, that we are going to touch on. Something that came out on day 5 that we are going to go into a lot more in substance, because it's going to explain what is happening in these particular audios, because these are calls that were made on the 20th of February 2017, the 16th of February 2017 video was also shown. All of these, and the 21st of February interview was also being played on this day as well, which shows the communication between Monica Sementilli and the detectives and the calls with them. I don't want to spoil it because it was a very interesting reveal what the investigators had to do. So if you haven't watched the trial or followed the whole thing like I have, it's better. Like I should probably wait. I should probably wait to reveal that next week. But it's very interesting here. So I'm going to go into the audio recorded call of the on the 20th of February, and Monica was asking over the phone whether they have any suspects, where she was told they can't, and she was told when she called them that they can't release any information about having any suspect to her. They can't tell her if they have any suspects or not. So and this is very interesting because this is, again, note down the time that she's asking for the suspect. So this was the 20th of February 2017. That is going to be important later on when we go into the second half, which is basically day 5 of Verna's testimony. Let me just try and move this out of the way. I don't know why this is in the way. 29. Okay, so let's go into the recording now. This is the part of recording that I want, because this is the interview, the audio interview where she was speaking with Detective Pardon, I believe. I don't think Verna is in the audio, but nonetheless, on the 16th of February, she was seen at Target, and where Monica went to on the 16th, and I believe, not too sure about this one, but I believe Robert was there as well, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be mistaken with that one. Anyway, she this was the key part of the interview, where she goes on to describe what was taken from the house when they had gone into the house. So this was the audio, this was the audio from the 21st of February interview.
You have your daughter, and you're going to be able to get through this whole thing, right? You know, you can come back in. I don't have anything else for you right now. We're going to do everything in our power to do this. There's video everywhere. We're going to start with that. We're going to start with that video. No, that we're going to have to go through and process the whole house. It's probably going to be here for hours and hours and hours. For evidence. Okay. I know your dad was asking about cats too. Okay, I saw one cat, a gray one. You didn't go outside all the way. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm going to see if we can get that. I'll put some answer. They didn't want to hear for you. I had another question. You see the dog on the phone? The house phone. Did you take the phone out there to the patio? Okay. should all use the speakerphone.
You have to use time that's what to do.
Okay. Monica, you want to come back up to the living room with your daughters, and then we'll talk to Bella or one of your daughters. That's okay. Is that okay if we talk to Bella?
Yeah.
Can someone else be here, a neighbor or something? Because I don't want to get crisis.
Yeah.
Okay, we can have one of the crisis response. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Transcript.
So, Detective, do you have a recollection of that interview that we just heard?
Yes.
And did you recognize the voices on that recording?
Yes.
And whose voices were on that recording?
Primarily it was Detective Markel and Monica Sementilli, and I was also in the interview myself.
Okay. During the course of the interview, we could hear the defendant crying. Did you notice anything unusual during the interview with respect to that?
I did.
And what was that?
There was sobbing, there was visual, accused of her being upset, but I did notice there were no tears.
At any point in time when you asked the defendant about her events and interactions on the day her husband was murdered, did she ever mention somebody by the name of Robert Baker?
No.
Did she ever mention the fact that she had met up with Robert Baker that day at LA Fitness?
No.
Did she ever mention to you that she perhaps played racquetball with Robert Baker that day?
No.
Did she ever mention that she played racquetball at all?
No.
Did she ever mention to you that she had met up with Robert Baker at the Target?
No.
Okay.
And when you
So
asked her about the surveillance camera system, did she ever change her answer when she said that she didn't know anything about the surveillance camera system?
No.
Did she ever change her answer at any point in time that we didn't hear on the tape, as we heard on...
I'm going to object. The tape speaks for itself. I believe there's some answers about the system.
Well, one, I will not accept a speaking objection. Two, it's overruled.
Love this judge.
Did she ever change her answer at any point off tape when she claimed she had no access on her phone to view the cameras? Did she ever change that answer?
No.
So,
did she ever off tape change her answer when she told you that Fabio did not have a life insurance policy?
No.
Did she ever change her answer that the only policy she knew of was the one she had for her son?
No.
We heard her tell you the phone numbers for her own cell phone, for that of her husband, Fabio Sementilli, and for that of her daughters, Jessica and Bella. Did you subsequently obtain a search warrant or subpoena signed off by a judge in order to obtain phone records for those phone numbers?
Yes.
Okay, so...
I have another stipulation. May it be marked as People's 25?
Yes.
So a lot of calls are now going to be introduced where she had called the detectives to discuss. So and a bulk of these calls is going to make up for day 5 coverage that we're going to do next week. So we are going to go into a lot more of these calls next week. But 6 calls were made, well, based on what I recorded here before the split change. 6 calls were made, and I believe it was a total of 16 calls in total. It was it's so many calls with the detectives, and a lot of it begins to unravel. It was as if at least when I was listening to it, I had the idea that maybe this is a guilty woman's actions, like someone with a guilty conscience. I mean to say, sorry, not a guilty woman, someone with a guilty conscience. So, because a lot more, the more she called them, the more things just come out. And I'm like, and I was saying, and as I was watching this, I was thinking, why don't you just keep quiet? But the main thing to note from the questions, the follow-up questions anyway, that is being asked here, and I believe the person conducting the cross-examination, I forgot her name. Never mind. Sorry, the person that's conducting the direct examination is Beth Silverman. So I believe all of this is building up, because if she didn't inform the detectives that there was a change to the DVR system, then likely she had changed it in some way. At least that's the idea that I'm getting. So there's probably going to be evidence to present in regards to this in the coming days. So I'm gonna go to the part of the DVR system that I just mentioned, and that is let me just get the right timestamp, and that is this part here. Let me just get the right timestamp here. So this is the audio recording in regards to a DVR system, and she says that she couldn't figure out the system. Let's actually listen to this particular testimony.
The sliding door behind was ajar.
Yes.
That sliding.
I'll pause it for a minute. I just want to say thank you so much for your super chat. I truly do appreciate you, SD Surf. Thank you for subbing as well. I appreciate you. We are always live every week. Like I said, I want this to be a community in which we can share and discuss cases. Hopefully, as time goes, like, it will refine and evolve itself, because I'm still learning YouTube. I'm relearning YouTube all over again, because a lot has happened over time, and I just have to get back into the groove. But hopefully you have enjoyed what you're seeing. I'm so happy that you have contributed and supported the channel this way. Thank you so much. But yeah, Jersey Jen, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. I didn't see you here. I didn't see. But what does Drake say? Better late is better. So don't worry about it. You are always welcome. Let me know what movie you watched. That's very interesting. Because the last old movie that I've seen was Thunderbirds. That's proper 70s, 80s. I think that was the last movies of that generation. I think the old Italian Job as well. So let me know what movie you're watching. But yeah, we are always live every 9 p.m. UK time, 4 p.m. Eastern time. So we're always live every Sunday. And we had a lot to discuss today. But anyway, let's get back to the Monica Sementilli trial, and go through these audios, these audio calls to Detective Paschal and Monica Sementilli.
Door, did that lead onto that sliding door, did that lead onto a patio that ran along the side of the home, parallel to a wash?
Yeah, it was a little bit wider than your typical walkway would be, and that was behind that patio to the north of it.
And did that particular patio also run along the other two bedrooms on the first level?
It did.
And in noting that sliding door was ajar, did you look at that as a potential either point of entry or exit?
Yes.
Showing you what you previously reviewed the first day that you testified, People's Exhibit 7, page 5. That's okay. Do you recognize what you see here?
Yes.
What is that?
This is a photo of the driveway of the house. You can see the peak of the house. I believe that's above the master bedroom in the upper left part of the screen.
Okay. And the light source, is that the alternate light source that we looked at, I think, yesterday that was brought in?
Yes, the bright globe area.
Showing you People 7, page 6. Do you recognize what's depicted here?
Yes.
What is that?
This is it'd be the residence area. This is the second floor, and just below the second floor on the eve of the house, it's could be a camera.
Okay. And is that the area that is in a red square here in People 7, page 6?
Correct. And this appears to be a picture that's from Queen Victoria pointing towards the residence.
Showing you People 7, page 7, does this give you context for that particular camera?
It does.
Okay. And in front of the house along the street, Queen Victoria, do you recognize what you see here?
Yes.
And what do we see in this photograph in front of the home?
This vehicle on the right-hand side is the Fiat that was driven by Bella.
The red colored car?
Yes.
Okay. And the other one, does that appear to be perhaps a police vehicle?
It is.
Showing you People 7, page 13, starting with the photograph on the left. Do you recognize what you see there?
Yes.
And what is that?
This is the single car garage. So the orientation would be the double car garage was just south of the single car garage.
The single car garage is the one that's closed, the portion that's open that we can see in the picture to the left?
Correct.
And what do we see here to the bottom right?
Again, this is the interior of the single car garage with the double car garage off to the right-hand side of the image.
Showing you People 7, number 50, as you walk into the home, if you were to go slightly to the right, what is this area here? Right here, the blue chair.
I believe it's a half bath powder room.
And does that also show us the stairs that lead to the second floor when you come into the entryway?
Yes.
Looking at the photograph to the bottom right, can you describe what we see here?
Yes, so it's the same blue chair. This is basically taken from the orientation as if you were standing near the staircase looking in the opposite direction.
And looking at the photograph on the bottom right, does this area where the floor changes from this tile or marble to wood, does that hallway lead you to a particular location?
Yes.
And to where?
So I believe if you made a quick left, it took you down to the 2 bedrooms that were connected to be the Jack and Jill bathroom, and if you went straight down the hallway, it took you to the master bedroom.
Okay, so I wanted to, I unfortunately just realized too late that I selected the wrong tab. So let me try and see if I can style this out properly. But yeah, so I'm going to pretend that I knew what I was doing right now. And I'm going to basically just say, of course, they're just going through the surveillance system and showing what it would have captured and what. This is my belief that this is going to be very important later on because the seeds that are being planted so far is that there's possible manipulation with the DVR system. If they're asking the detective this question, so if they're showing the pictures of the surveillance camera, this means that there was a high probability that they were able to have captured whoever the killers were going into the house, the same way that they were able to capture Monica, all of those people come in. So, and the one thing that stuck out to me instantly just now, just realizing now, and this is coming from the Daisy Link trial. Remember the testimony from I forgot her name, Surgeon Fernandez, I believe her name was. She testified that when a DVR is deleted, is formatted, you will lose everything. That you can't go and delete certain parts, it will remove everything. So that's how she knew that it wasn't manually manipulated, you know. So with that testimony in mind, I'm kind of applying it here, and I'm thinking, wait a second, if they are thinking that this DVR is manipulated, then if we see some missing pictures around or missing footage around a certain time, then we know someone has manipulated it. And so far, the testimony that I've heard so far is Monica Sementilli that has the ability to do this, but she already told the law enforcement that that she doesn't know how to work it. So that's really important to note. So I'm not gonna go through all of this because I just realized that this is the wrong video. Like I said earlier, I'm trying to style this out. And this is where the Porsche was found. This is the Porsche. Let me just go back a little bit.
Yes.
And what, if anything, did you note with respect to this video?
There appears to be a single person that gets out of the vehicle and walks away from the vehicle.
Whoever that person is going to be...
Is that what we see here?
Yes.
Whoever that person is going to be important later on, but the Porsche, like I said earlier, at 9:20, it was found. This was way after the murder. So now let's actually get into my desired target, which was the actual phone call between, the recording of the house visit between Detective Parshall and Monica Sementilli. And I already gave it away, but she of course said in this interview or this house visit that she doesn't know how to work the DVR. Let's listen. Hold up. Let's go back a little bit just to get a bit of context. So this is call 2. I don't think there was a date attached to this. Sorry, there was a date. I apologize. This is these are phone calls, I believe, after the 21st of February 2017 interview. Hey, we got a new member on the Irons Condiment Island. I hope that you enjoy the sauciness that we provide there. Jesse Jen, thank you so much for becoming a member on the channel. I truly appreciate you. When you are on the Condiment Island, you get early access to videos, emojis, cool emojis like this. I'm gonna show a bit like this. You get cool emojis like that. That's for Slow News Day. That's for a brain dead attorney. This is for a ridiculous witness. And this is for when sauciness or when the truth has been revealed. So those are what you get as a member. So yeah, so hopefully you enjoy. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate your support. Jesse Jen. So I am looking to I have a ketchup bottle. Yes, you do. I am looking to make some more exclusive videos. I do have a concept for that. But it's gonna I need things to head into the winter first and foremost so that I can get into a full swing of it. But yeah, anyone in the Heinz in the Tastemakers tier will receive exclusive videos. So they are coming. It has been a while, so I appreciate everyone that there. But anyway, I just want to say thank you so much, Josie Jen, for supporting. If you have any emoji request or anything like that, let me know and I'll get them created and put it up. If you also something I should mention while we're here, because I rarely plug it for some reason. I should plug it a lot more, but definitely if you on our website ketchupcourt.info, if you have a case that you want us to cover for whenever, just go over and put it there, or you can leave it in a chat, and then I will definitely look the case up. So definitely go in there, and this is where you can also find all of our reports of the cases that we've covered, like the Cardi B trial and also the Link trial. We have done like this. This is what we do so that you guys can be caught up quickly and know where to find certain information, you know, from the streams that we have, well, from the streams or any court coverage that we have, that we do a recap on. So that's the website. So that's the website there. It's really helpful. Yeah, I just thought I give that plug because I always forget to do that. Let's go back to the Monica Sementilli trial and go through these audios.
Everything that happened, and I'll do the same thing with Jessica Law. And then eventually just to make sure, you know, they put so many different swabs in different areas within here. I can't submit, you know, 145 swabs at once and expect them to get it back to me. This won't let me do it. I have to do handfuls at a time. So a lot of it is just figuring out what ones I need to submit. Or, you know, the big ones, I think, problem. I mean, hopefully not, but I mean, most of it's going to be that fine. You know, so I want to kind of determine what I should put back there. So if we can go, take it from when you got home. Yes.
My family and his work friends have been getting Facebook requests from February yesterday. And so they obviously call us right away. I don't have Facebook, so we don't even know. And they would say hello. And when my nephew wrote back, who is this? Like, what, you know, what's going on? They deleted the page. But then they reported it, and I think Facebook was looking into it. But I mean, who would do that?
Yeah, right.
Profile page.
Yeah, I've never heard of that actually, but interesting. So some of the people, so how do you have Facebook? What people do Facebook?
Jessica, what's that Facebook? A name or an account? This is his name.
There's a okay, and then, so who actually got a request from his Facebook?
Well, I don't know, my nephew, Daniel Chiro Toronto.
What's his name?
Daniel.
Okay.
Chiro, that's his nephew. Texted me. And then, so Dana, somebody from Lower Canada, her work got it. My friend got it. And she said, I just deleted it because I get so many hacked Facebook requests.
Yeah.
And I don't know that people, their pages, so I
think that's what it is. I think people know that you died and you're running your inside of Facebook page, and they have a way of doing that. But I'm going to find out how that's done. So
it was an actual request for like a friend.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like a suggestion. Or...
No, it was a friend of us too. Obviously,
Right.
his conference. Yeah. And I don't know how many come in. Like, I told him, you keep it posted, you know, whatever. So
I'm sure people are just screwing around. Like they got all the good and they think it's fun or something. Okay, is there any other options there? Is that Facebook?
Twitter, LinkedIn, I mean, I think he's everywhere. We didn't realize how worldwide he was.
Did he have like a agent or a PR person or someone that would manage the social media at all?
I was his assistant at work to help him, but I know he was, you know, making sure he did his own thing.
Oh.
But to responding to things, I'm sure his assistant help and that's how it works. Alicia Truesdale.
Alicia?
Yeah, Alicia.
And was she just his assistant, his personal assistant, or is she?
Exactly, assistant.
Okay, and she didn't work for anyone else?
Oh, so she worked for people in the office.
Okay. Okay, she took care of all this time. Okay. And then have you had anything on your social media though, any contacts, any?
I have Instagram, I know that, but my kids in New York, because I think I'm the only person in the planet that doesn't have Instagram.
What's your Instagram account?
Markel _ Sementilli.
And you haven't got anything on there?
No, I think it's
Okay, what's the
okay. She is trying to come to the car, she's just getting
So we're gonna go into the key part that I wanted to highlight, and we are gonna is this part here in regards to the DVR system that she said in the previous calls, especially when we go through call 5. She had basically said in that audio that a new DVR system has been installed, and on call 6 something very key happens on that call, and that was where Monica says that there was price hikes when she was going to purchase some vehicles, and how they were not able to transfer these vehicles into her name without a will. This is going to be very important later on, because we are now going into the territory where I guess you can say the ketchup bottle starts spilling over. Like a lot more contextual information comes out to what has been brought out. But the reason why I didn't want to go, the reason why I didn't timestamp a lot of these calls is because I'll be very honest, it's just a lot of fluff, if that makes sense. So it was just a lot of fluff, but I wanted to go here just to end this last day 4, because this part goes into day 5, which continues with the rest of the phone calls that was made to the detectives by Monica Sementilli. Everything I just mentioned is from call 1 to call 6. So remember though this key information. Remember this key information as we listen to the follow-up questions by Beth Silverman. It's going to be very important.
Did the defendant ever mention to you that she had remote access to the home surveillance system cameras through her cell phone?
No.
In fact, did she deny that to you?
Yes.
So she denied. Note that down. She denied. Oh, I'm actually gonna write it down here. So she denied remote access to DVR cameras. Okay, I hope you can see that, by the way. I hope you can see that. So she denied remote access to DVR cameras. So let's continue on playing.
I want to draw your attention to page 68. There's a portion in the recording that you pointed out to me where it looks like on page 68, lines 23 through 24, there's some portion of the recording where the transcriber has indicated the recording was unintelligible. Did you hear something or recall something that was said at that point in time by your partner to the defendant relating to the DVR system?
I heard it in the audio.
And what was that?
Objection on referencing.
Can I read the sentence so it makes sense in context? So the sentence on line 23 continuing through 25, it says, yeah, you know, it...
Except, it's page 68, lines 23 through 25. Go ahead.
It says, if you want, see if someone can pick you up, and then the unintelligible part is a DVR that'll work. You just need things like that, referring to the camera system that had been taken.
So instead, it's unintelligible there, and after that, it says you just don't need things like that.
Oh, correct, yeah. Yes, you just don't need things like that.
So, in your presence, your partner recommended to the defendant that she replace the DVR system.
Yes.
And did the defendant ever change her story with respect to the fact that she told you during the course of this interview that when the mirror is opened, she gets a text on her phone, and on that particular day, she did not get a text on her phone? Did she ever change that answer?
No.
Okay, so she was advised to replace the DVR system. She was advised, I believe this would be someone, based on what she had basically told them, to replace it. That is going to come, in my opinion, because what this seems to me is that they're laying seeds for what she is trying to justify as destroyed evidence. So I want to see how this progresses, but I will just move on to the next case that we have here that we have to cover, that I really wanted to cover, and that is the stateside one. But I'm gonna leave the Monica Sementilli trial for now. Bookmark all of this. We will have, like I said, it was just a lot of foundational stuff, and I only thought, let's just go through the key parts and grab a lot from that, because I know this is the unfortunate part of trials. A lot of it is very mundane, a lot of it is very technical, so all I can do is try to parse out a lot of the things so that you don't go through a lot of fluff. That's how this is designed. But hopefully you are following so far in what the prosecution is trying to present with the Monica Sementilli case. It is no secret that they are going off the bat to basically say this woman is a liar from the beginning. Like they are basically saying that from the beginning, and they're saying, look, she has changed her stories. You can tell, like, this is what we are getting from the detective, that she has denied these things. She hasn't changed it. She hasn't changed all these things, etc., which is just implanting the idea in your head that as time goes on, that you're gonna see it unravel, and you will see the inconsistencies start to appear. Now, she doesn't look incriminated in any way. In fact, I think she looks normal so far. But the analytical side of me, or the brain that just doesn't let me sleep at night, just can't ignore the way that Bev Silverman is asking these questions. Anyway, let's move on to the Madeleine McCann trial, because like I said earlier, the woman is pretending to be a missing child that goes by the name of Madeleine McCann, and she is pretending to do this. No one knows why she's doing this. If I'm being honest with you, no one actually knows the exact reason why someone would actually pretend to be a missing child's daughter. But we did get some key information coming in this week. Last week we only heard from how her stalking of the family has affected the McCanns. We only heard testimony from the daughter, from Amelie McCann, who is the daughter of Kate and McCann. We heard how a letter was sent from Julia Wandelt to the McCanns, saying that I am your daughter, and take a DNA test. Why wouldn't you take a DNA test? We heard Jerry McCann testified to the reason why they won't take a DNA test, because they know that it's not their daughter, and secondly, it is the job of the private investigators. And to be quite fair, a lot of the conspiracy theorists that believe the McCanns are hiding something, they already lapped on all of that. But a lot of the, but this is where the website that I'm getting all my court info from is a UK court service that of court reporters that goes into trial to basically report what's going on and give their thoughts on the trial. All of the day 1 to day 3 testimonies, which we covered on last week's stream, are there. But for this particular, we're not going to cover that much because I'll be quite fair, a lot of the testimony that come out hasn't really changed much. It's just been the same idea to basically show how distressed the McCanns were. This is very essential for a stalker trial where you are alleging harassment and like how your life could be in danger. You got to show that you were distressed or of some kind and you're not just putting this on, or you're not accusing this person falsely, basically. So based on what has come out so far, there's strong evidence of stalking, and we got to hear from one of the reverends, from a reverend called Reverend Gladstone, who was the vicar at a church. Now, there was a vigil that was being held in Madeleine's honor. So this is where the confusion lies for me, because like I said earlier when I was introducing this case, this has been going on, at least she has been missing since 2005. So I don't know if they have accepted, or the wrong word to use, not accepted, but I don't know if they believe that she's dead or they are just commemorating the missing date or the date that she's gone missing. I have no idea if she's declared or if the family has given up. I don't think they have. I don't think they have. But that vicar has come in to testify today, and we're gonna go into. I've gone too far ahead. I believe this was in day 4. The vicar came to testify, but not just the vicar came to testify, but also Kate McCann's aunt, who was Janet Kennedy. We're not going to go through her testimony. She just basically said that that it's just been traumatic for the daughter. But the vicar, Robert Gladstone, who was he basically testified that he confirmed the disappearance in 2007, and says that and it says here that his testimony when he was giving his evidence says pretty instantly, from knowing Jerry and Kate and seeing Sean and Emily grow up, her physique bore no resemblance to the McCann family. I could no way say she was related. She said she was Madeleine. She said her real parents were Kate and McCann, were Kate and Jerry McCann. So that was a very short testimony, but I wanted to highlight that because this was the same vicar that saw her when she came to the vigil that they were having for Madeleine McCann's memory, or whatever that was. But I don't know the ins and outs of how the McCanns has been handling the missing case, but I'm just trying to gather a lot. But I thought that this was interesting because, like I said, it's someone claiming to be missing. So anyway, DC Draycott and DCI Mark Cranwell, the inspectors that were part of the investigation with the McCanns, and also the person that I believe had conducted the DNA evidence in regards to Julia Wandel, who is saying that she is the McCanns, or she is part of the McCanns family. They gave evidence. So Draycott was the person who was part of Scotland Yard's 13 million investigation into Madeleine McCann. He explained Operation Grange, it was to try to discover what happened with Madeleine. This is, to be quite fair, this is why a lot of people were up in frenzy, because they were like, why are you spending this much money trying to search for this one girl that has been missing, that many people think that she could be dead? Why not spend this money on other crimes, etc.? I remember the discourse of this quite well back then, actually. Anyway, moving on. DC Draycott told the court, we used professional expertise from studying the photos to say she was not Madeleine McCann. He said in his police that Wandelt seemed to have mental health problems. So that's not, I don't know if we're gonna hear from an actual mental health professional. I don't think so. This is just a Stalker trial, but I think that is powerful testimony, especially coming from someone of his capacity. So he says that he says that after speaking with Wandelt, he wrote a report saying this girl is not Madeleine McCann. He noticed she had a different eye features and was not Madeleine's age. He told the jurors also that during his time with Operation Grange, hundreds of people claimed to be Madeleine. So I don't think the juries are gonna like find them not guilty at this point. But anyway, continuing on, the Draycott said that he appeared relieved after he told he told her she was not Madeleine following his review of photos. Police called her to inform her to reassure her that she was not Madeleine. This was shortly after she had been to the McCann's home. He added, if you go to Leicester again, there is an offense called harassment. You could be arrested. So he also going to say, we will not speak with you again. If you ring the British police or go to Leicester again, any contact will come back to us, to Operation Grange. Everything you say, we have been able to disprove. We go by evidence. There is no evidence to say you are Madeleine, that you are Madeleine. So the officer said plainly, there are no facts to say you are Madeleine. We are extremely experienced in this. You're not the first person, and you won't be the last person who thinks they are Madeleine. Continuing on in the call, all I'm gonna say is that you're not Madeleine, okay? We have been in this investigation since 2011. So this is all the calls that was being played to the audience. So this was the cause of the investigation when they were speaking with Julia Wandelt when she came in for that DNA test. So in the call, Detective Draycott told Wandelt, we are not testing DNA. We can't spend public money on something like this. We know that you're not Madeleine McCann. So that was why there was no DNA test. Like we read last week, it was destroyed. So that was, and it's just basically going on to explain the same thing. They were satisfied that she is not Madeleine, and it was evidence from the photos sent and the information gave. So that's pretty much all I wanted to bring out in regards to all this, because there are text messages that was sent saying that, you know, it's me, I'm not crazy. All of that was being presented to the jury. It was all being, I'm guessing that there was a lot of maybe sidebars and lawyers' arguments going on. So there was not a lot of testimonies going on, and all we had was the detective, DCI Cranwell, like I said earlier, and he came in to testify about a DNA test that was finally carried on Julia after her arrest with the McCanns, and he said that my assessment was she had reached the threshold of committing harassment and stalking. After Wandel's arrest on harassment charges, a DNA test was ordered by investigators hoping to dissuade her from further harassment. A comparison took place, and he conclusively proved that Julia Wandelt was not Madeleine McCann. I told her the sample was compared with Madeleine's DNA and she's not Madeleine McCann. He said, I asked her if she now agrees she's not Madeleine, and she just didn't agree with it. Her response was, do you have paperwork to that question of asking her if she agreed that she was Madeleine after the DNA test had proven this? And she also commented on the fact an expert compared her profile in the Portuguese files and contained 3 potential other persons. He told Court Wandelt, then asked him, do you really want to find Madeleine? Cranwell said to his colleague, yes, they do. The same thing happens again with the other investigators. Do you have paperwork? So that's pretty much it, because that's all I wanted to get out of that. And that was just the DNA conclusively showing that she is not Madeleine McCann. So I do this sometimes when I bring in the UK cases that I think could be interesting to you all. So I do understand that the show is very, very new. That it's probably not what you're used to, where it's just a singular stream. But I do try, but at least going forward next week, I don't think there's any trials going on. If there are more trials in the UK that's of interest, I'll definitely announce it in the community post. But for next week, it's just going to be a focus on the Sementilli trial and whatever is happening that I found interesting in that week. Like, for example, like we did today, the Donna Adelson trial. So yeah, that's just the style that I like to do. I like to at least try to showcase a bit of the trials over here, so that you guys can see how the system is like over here. Like, I don't want to be a UK only channel, if that makes sense, but I do want to kind of show what's going on here. I do want to look into the grooming gang cases. I do want to do a deep dive into that. I'm not sure if you guys heard of that heard of that in the States, but there's a massive grooming gang problem here in the UK. So I'm still doing my deep dive on it. So if I once I complete it, I will look and see how long it would take for me to present this and talk about it. But yeah, Jesse Jen says this case is so horrible. It is because of how interwoven it is to such a sensitive topic as a missing child. It is so horrid. I mean, I may have made jokes when I was younger about Madeleine McCann, but I was like 15, 16, or maybe 20. So I was young, but now putting myself in their shoes, this is horror. This is hard to process for anybody, like going through having a child go missing for this long, and then it's just but anyway, I believe this is going to be the last presentation of evidence. They are supposed to go back into court on Monday. I think that the case is wrapping up from here. If there's a verdict, I will just update it and just let you guys know what's been happening. But yeah, from now on, it's just Monica Sementilli. I had to split it up to try and see, and we've run over the time a little bit because I try to keep my streams under 2 hours. But yeah, we get a low UK crime, so I appreciate what you can offer. I know, like, I do see the gap. I don't get twisted. I do see the gap, but you know, like I said, I don't want it to turn into a UK kind of hub kind of thing. Like, it's not my aim. But yeah, but if I do get a chance to go to, like last time I covered the Conor McGregor case, so it wasn't on this channel, but it was on my second channel. So I'm gonna try to bring the clips over to this channel. But that case was very interesting. That happened in Ireland. So yeah, this case is so suspicious. However, speaking of suspicious cases, we talked about it last week on the stream with Young Black Economist, and I believe Random Girl was Random Girl also contributed. If you guys find any Illuminati cases, any cases of secret societies and all of that, let me know, and I'll go and look into it, and hopefully I'll bring out those cases so that we can discuss, because I do find it interesting that these cases exist. But for now, oh no, I'm not running a second trial anymore. I'm sorry, I'm not running a second trial anymore. That I'm not doing that anymore. It's too much to run. It's too much to run. But yeah, at the time I was covering, I have always had an interest in covering the UK law, but I'll do my best to bring it in here, like every week, try and bring it into Source and Order, because we have a law source to give, and yeah, so hopefully every single one of you have had a great time today. Hopefully that you've enjoyed the stream. Let me know what you think. If you're watching this back on replay, let me know how we can improve. It would really, really help us out in giving you the best stream there is, because I really do want, I really do. I don't know. I feel like I'm not doing enough. I don't know. I feel like I'm boring sometimes, but I really do want to try and give you entertainment. But anyway, I'll just leave it there. Thank you so much, every single one of you, for tuning in. For tuning into this stream. Jen says you can balance UK and US if that is what you want to do. Your choice. Yeah, of course. Of course. I'm just trying to think of, I'm just trying to think of. I don't want to confuse anyone. Basically, it's basically it. But I will try and refine how I present it. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, I appreciate every single one of you for coming in. Thank you so much, Jersey Jen, for becoming a member. No court docs on high courts though. It's all on HH. What's HH? What's HH? Let me know. Though it's all accusations. I don't know what you mean by HH. Oh, Amstead Heath. Okay. Amstead Heath. I'm guessing you're talking about it. I'm guessing you're referring to the grooming gangs. I'll message me on Discord. And we'll or shoot me an email, and we'll talk about this more. Thank you so much, Jen, for saying that. I'm glad that you said I'm not boring. I'm very self-conscious. Anyway, I don't want to keep this stream for too long. Thank you so much, every single one of you, for tuning in. I'll see you next week on the next Source and Order. We shall be going through definitely week 2 of Monica Sementilli trial. Hopefully, there is a lot that we have to unpack in regards to the evidence that's going to be presented by Ryan Verna, and then the friends of Monica Sementilli. Well, close friends are coming in to testify, I believe. So there is a lot more to come in, but definitely based on what we know so far, this does shape up to be one of those dives that you just have to be careful and just listen to every single part that's coming out, because it's gonna be a slow burner. Like I said, it's a 37-day trial, and it's going to pick up much later on, and I would love for you guys to be part of this journey with me. Anyway, thank you so much. I'll see you guys next week, same time, 4 p.m. Eastern time, 9 p.m. UK time. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye for now. Thank you everyone for tuning in for another Ketchup Court live stream. Make sure that you smash that like button, as well as hitting that subscribe button to be notified of our future live streams. We go live regularly, bringing you case updates and recaps of ongoing trials, so make sure you hurry back on the next live stream. We also have more content on the channel that you can binge on. Check out the playlist that we have showcasing all of these contents. Without further, I go by the name of Heinz, your friendly neighborhood ketchup man, and I'll see you back in court.